Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Happy Career Circle Facebook Live video series. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Sue, and happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yes. So Sue and I are chiming in. Normally we're here on Mondays, but we had to shift our schedule a little bit for the week. So we're chiming in here on Friday. We wanted to share just a few quick updates and housekeeping items with you. And then we're going to share just a couple of tips. This is going to be short and sweet, but some tips that will hopefully help you build your confidence and be the true you in your work. So before we dive into that, I want to pass it back to you, Sue, for some quick updates on our survey.
Yes, so some of you may have noticed I reposted the survey. We decided to give you all a little more time. We've gotten some great responses, but wanted to give the rest of you some time to take our 1-minute survey. It literally is so fast. And we would love to see your feedback and what you want to see in this group. And we'd also love to put your name in our drawing to win some cool prizes.
Yes, so please chime in. We want to hear from you. We've said this before. We do not have any interest in being a couple of talking heads here in our Facebook group. We want this group to add value to you. So if there's an area that you're struggling with in your career path or your current career, or something you're wanting to learn more about or anything like that, we want to hear from you. So take just a minute or two and fill out that survey. And then always feel free to reach out to us in the meantime as well. So another quick housekeeping update is that Sue and I, again, next Monday won't be here, but we will be here on, I believe we said Thursday. So we'll be chiming in with a quick Facebook Live video on Thursday. And we have some exciting news we're going to be talking about and some things that we're going to be sharing with you. So don't miss that one. And with that, are we ready to roll, Sue?
Yes, let's roll.
Okay, so we were talking about, we just wanted to share something that would hopefully help you right where you're at. And one of the things that we hear so often from women, and something that we've had, experienced in our own path as well, is, how do you build your confidence and how do you really show up as yourself in your work and in your career? And we were thinking about the times in our own path where we've experienced certain things that have helped us in doing that. And so I'm just going to share a story and something that has helped me, and Sue's going to do that as well. And then we're going to wish you an awesome weekend. But one of the things that has really helped me in my own path to build confidence is to just do it, even if my knees are knocking. And believe me, there have been times my knees have been knocking. But a specific example that I can think of in my own path, and some of you might have heard this story before if you've heard me speak. I was trying to remember if I've shared this in one of our videos before, but when I started Her Team Success over 3 years ago, when I started my coaching practice, I was so excited. I got my first client. She found me online, and she was a high-level marketing manager, and I was just so excited to get to work with her. And it was right before I was about to go into my very first coaching session with her that I had this just case of like imposter syndrome, just total confidence crisis, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, who am I to be coaching this woman, and what do I have to offer, and all of that. And so I had to push through that. I think I said a little desperate prayer, but I had to push through that and remind myself of the years that I've worked with women, and I've got this, and this is my calling, and this is what I want to do. But I pushed through that and did it anyway. And what I found was, even going into that first session, getting past those nerves, because a lot of times when we're stepping into the very thing that we're supposed to be doing, we still have nerves. It still can be scary. But what I found is that the nerves went away, and it was almost like I could observe myself just stepping into the thing that I was supposed to be doing. And so for me, it's doing it anyway. And then I realized I can do that. And I learn from that, and I grow from that, and then I can do it again, and I can do it again, and then it gets easier and easier. So all of that to say, if you're thinking about, how do you build your confidence, or there's an area that you're struggling with and you're not feeling confident in, or maybe it's something that you have a tug on your heart to do, and you're kind of holding back because you have those nerves, the thing that has helped me is do it anyway, take action, and step into it. And that can actually help to build your confidence. So that's my little snippet to share today. And Sue, I'm going to pass the baton back to you so you can share something that's worked for you in your own path.
That's such a great story, Jenny. And I just wanted to comment on how helpful that is. And I have this little saying, behave to believe. Sometimes when you just take those steps, you start finding evidence, like you said, you realize you can do it. And the more you do it, the better it gets. So I love that. And that builds confidence. The story I was thinking about was way back when I started my coaching practice, and I had gone through coach training, and I started working with clients. And I remember in my head, I had a vision of what it was supposed to look like. And of course, I was comparing myself to all the master coaches who had been doing it, coaching for many years, and they were amazing. So I had this vision that that's how I was supposed to be. And the bar was really high. And I just, like, the expectations were so high that I had to be this amazing coach that it just, like, I was frozen. And I would show up in these coaching sessions and I would be all in my head, and I would be like trying to say the right thing. And it was really hard, all this pressure. Luckily, going through the coach training programs, we were always the subject. Like, we would get scrubbed. They would coach the heck out of us. And I learned some really amazing mindset tools, which I've mentioned in some other Facebook Lives we have. But I find just knowing where your mind is at is such a great way to build confidence, because our thoughts have so much power over how we feel, how we act, and the results we get. So as I was doing my practice coaching with clients and realizing that it wasn't going well, I decided to take a step back and think, okay, what am I thinking? What am I telling myself? And what I realized is I was telling myself that I need to be amazing and I'm not good enough. So this idea I'm not good enough made me feel scared and disappointed, because I was looking for evidence for reasons why I wasn't good. I wasn't as good as the master coaches. I wasn't, having these sessions where I could tie it up in a nice little bow. And so the action with that, the reaction I had to that thought and that feeling was I would clam up, and I would just be in my head. I was mostly concerned about, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? And the result was that I really wasn't showing up as myself. I wasn't very confident, and it just kind of fed into the original thought that I'm not good enough, because I wasn't showing up with all my talents and my natural strengths. So luckily, I was able to find a new thought that I believed, which was I have what it takes. I've always kind of been a natural coach, and I have certain things that I can bring to the table, even if I haven't been coaching for many years, way back then. And I found that thought, going in with that, it allowed me to kind of, rather than have this big expectation of how this is supposed to be, it's more like, what can I bring in each moment, and I started looking for my own natural strengths. It made me feel more hopeful and more confident, and I could show up and be more present. I took the pressure off. I wasn't as attached to the outcome, because I realized I naturally build trust. I have empathy. I love helping people. Like, I love seeing potential in people and encouraging them and helping them grow. And just coming in with that space, the result was that I was more confident, and I realized that I did have what it took. I may not have been able to compare myself to those master coaches at that time, but that's okay. It's I don't know if you ever find this, Genny, but it's like, we're all on this journey. We go from beginners and being a novice to being masters, and we're all at different points in that journey. So if we compare ourselves when we're beginners to those masters, we're never going to feel like we measure up.
And everybody has to start somewhere.
We have to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, even if there's someone who does a podcast and you think, oh, they're so amazing, they're so polished, they're so great. Yeah. I bet if you ask them, like, how was your first few podcasts? They'd probably say kind of a disaster, or not that great, or I cringe when I go back and listen to those. So it's kind of meeting ourselves where we're at, and breaking it down and looking for those small things that we do bring no matter what.
Yeah. And so I love that story so much, because it's such a reminder that there's room at the table for everybody because we all bring something unique. So, you know, I talk to women all the time, and I know you do as well, where sometimes there's the holding back because, well, there's already so many people doing a podcast. Well, there's not people with your voice doing a podcast, or so many people have already written that book, but not with your voice and your life experiences. You know what I mean? And so like there's, when it goes back to taking a look at, like you said, really digging into your unique strengths and who you are and really showing up in that way, the competing and comparing just goes away because we're all so different. And that's the beauty of it. And I love that reminder that everybody has what it takes, because everybody's going to do it in their own unique way, which I think is super cool. I also I had a thought that I just have to share in case anybody watching this is holding back, starting something or doing something because they feel like it has to be perfect, or they don't have all their ducks in a row or whatever. I just remember when I started Her Team Success, I started my own little website, and I am like by no means a website designer. I literally just created this free little WordPress website. It was totally awful. But I put it out there. And I didn't, I don't even know, there was maybe 4 pages on the whole website or something. And, but I put it out there, and I was constantly editing it and tweaking it. And, you know, I knew it wasn't perfect, but having it out there, that is how my first client found me. Now, had I waited until I could afford a big web designer or spend thousands of dollars or, you know, whatever, you know, who knows how long it would have taken me. So I'm not advocating like put horrible websites out there. That's not the point. The point is just do what you can with what you have, and just take that next step, and don't expect it to be perfect, and be okay if it's not perfect. You can tweak it and improve it as you go, you know? So that's my other little Friday nugget.
I had one more thought too, because I often hear people say, I can't follow my dream because like, what if it turns out I'm not good at it, or what if I'm not capable? And what I would say is, you know what, look for evidence where you are capable. Like look back in your life, find those examples where you've rocked it. It doesn't have to be exactly that same thing, but you bring those same strengths and those same skills and that same resourcefulness to whatever you do.
Yeah.
And so I think finding that evidence, which is kind of like in my example, where when I changed my thought, I was able to look for those things where I do bring things that help people make a difference. It's like we all have that. So let your brain look for the evidence that serves you, serves that thought that's going to help you take those steps.
Yeah.
To go after your dreams and be successful.
I love that so much. And then I would also add to that, if you go down a path and it doesn't work out, that is okay too, because nothing is a waste. You're going to learn something that's going to inform your next step. And that's happened to all of us. So sometimes failure, what we might look at as a failure, can be the very thing that opens the door to the thing that you're really supposed to be doing. So just another little thing to contemplate as we head into the weekend.
Love it.
Okay, that's it on my end. What about you, Sue?
That's it on my end too.
Okay, well, we really hope that you all have an amazing weekend. We will be back here next week. Please share your feedback in the survey. And again, we love to hear from you. So feel free to comment on anything in here as well, and reach out to us anytime. So bye. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great weekend.
The battery on my mouse died, so I can't turn it off. Oh, hold on. There we go. This will be a nice little blooper at the end for everybody.